Okay, so let's talk about tires. Trailer tires. This is the trailer I put the aluminum on. And these tires are very old. I can't begin to guess how old. I've had it, well, not too long, but it was my father-in-law's. I got it from him, and I don't know when the last time was he put tires on it. This trailer is fairly old, so we're going to take the tires off. We're going to look for the, I've already looked on this side for the DOT stamp, and then we're going to put new tires on it. First, I'm breaking the lug nuts loose while it's on the ground so they don't rotate on me while I'm doing it. Then, take this jack. Anyway, throw it under here. Let me get some gloves on. Now, the reason it's important to know how old your tires are is tires generally have a shelf life. In other words, well, shelf is the wrong word. An on-the-ground life of, depending on where you find your information, 6 to 10 years. You start getting these little cracks all over them, and that's not good. And then you throw a big load in them and you go on a trip, and next thing you know, you're on the side of the road with a blown tire. So let's pull this off of here. Now, these rims, you can see, are getting really rusty, and I could clean them up, paint them, and stick them back on. But here's the problem. Well, I went to a tire shop, and I asked them about putting new tires on this for me. And when they found out how long these tires have been on here, they wouldn't touch it. They said that they wouldn't touch anything that was over 10 years old. Too high a risk of it exploding on them. These are kind of rusty too. Kind of reminds me of the old Volkswagen Beetle hub, you know. It's got the, instead of having a stud sticking out, you got the bolt going through into the hub. I'm gonna have to oil these when I put them back on, keep them from rusting in too tight. I got a big 1,200 mile round trip coming up pretty soon with this. Carrying a lawn tractor to a family member, and going for a visit. So I thought I better put some decent tires on it. So I got new tires, and I actually found a good enough deal that I was able to get tires and galvanized rims mounted and everything fairly cheap. And that's what Bargain Boondocker does. Just try to get it as inexpensive as possible, because like a lot of people, I'm not overburdened with a wallet full of cash. Not that that would be a burden. these are tight, very tight. I like using the breaker bar on them when they're tight like that because it makes it a lot easier on me. Just a little awkward to have to swing it around. Ooh, it's warm. They get that way. Alright. If it gets too tight for that, then I'll go to the other one. Okay. That gets that off. Now then. I don't think the camera's gonna pick it up, but here on the back, you have an area where everything is inset, lettering in there. That's your DOT stamp. And that can give you the year, well, let's look at it this way. From the year 2000 to present, the last 4 digits will tell you the week of the year. The first 2 digits are the week of the year. This one is 01. And then the last 2 will tell you what the year is. Now, prior to that, which is when this tire was made, you have 3 digits instead of 4. So 01 would be the first week of the year. Then it's followed by a 1 on this one, which means it was the first year in the decade. So it could be 91. It could be 81. I don't know which. If it was 91, most people would have a little triangle out here at the edge, at the end of it, to tell you that it was in the 90s, but before that they had nothing. So this one doesn't have a triangle, so I'm going to say that's probably 81. So these tires, 1981 till today, you do the math. Too old. Now, while I got this open, I'm going to go ahead and pull the cap and grease the bearings. So we can do that while we're at it. They don't get hot. One thing I do when I am pulling a trailer is I keep an eye on the temperature. I'll stop every once in a while, feel the hubs and see if they're getting any heat in them. And these are not, but that doesn't sound good. So I'm going to repack the bearings while I have this open. And you can do this without taking the tire off, but I'm doing the tires too, so I might as well get the whole thing done while I'm in here and making a mess of myself. Hammer, huh? Right, yeah. Now some hubs will have a Zerk on them. You can just pump it. These don't. It's getting there. I'm driving it out. There we go. Let's keep all that out of there. Don't want leaves and bark and stuff in there. Set that up there out of the way. Get this cotter pin straightened out. And get me a pair of pliers. There we go. Put that in there. that off. Slide that out. Slide that out. So you got a bearing back there and a bearing in the front. So there you go, there's your bearing. Now then, I've made this can of Slick 50 multi-purpose grease. Been hanging around here for a while. Let's put it to good use. Okay, that inner bearing is not going to come out without taking the seal out too. So, let me find me a stick. This ain't the way to do it, but it's the way I'm going to do it because I can't get that one out, and I'm not going to replace the seal or the bearing right now. So I'm going to take some grease and wipe it in there around that bearing. And I know I'm going to catch all kinds of Billy Heck from people over this. But what I'm trying to do here, I don't know if you can see that, is using my finger to grab that grease that's in there and pull it back into that bearing so that I can get some into it at least to quiet it, lubricate it, help it to go just a little better. Because the way you do this, you take a wad of grease, put it in your hand, a little blob. You take your bearing and you squeeze it down into that grease, that edge there where you can get it to go through either top or bottom, it doesn't matter. And you just keep working it. And then you work it in. Taking it and trying to squeeze it down into there. Pushing it down through where those roller bearings are. Trying to get it in there so that it goes all the way down into it. And if you can squeeze it through, sometimes on these older ones, it'll start to come out the top, and then you know you've got it all the way in there. This one seems to be having a pretty decent seal around the top up here that keeps it from going in. So I may have to just do it this way around the outer edge. And that's at least getting it in there. And if you're doing, you know, this trailer doesn't get used a lot. It's not like it's constantly on the go. It's a couple times a year we get it out, and somebody needs it to haul Christmas trees to the junkyard, to the what do they call that, where they take them and shred them up into bark, recycle. And you know, so sometimes you have to do that. It does that, and most part it just kind of sits here. So I'm not gonna get too worried about it. If I was, you know, if it was one that I was driving or taking and going all over the place, I would probably switch out this hub for one that I could put a Zerk in and just keep it pumped up. But I, you know, like I said earlier, I keep an eye on the temperature on it. Try to pay attention to it so it doesn't overheat. Put this back on. You don't want it so tight that it can't roll, and you got to watch for the keyway there for your cotter key to fit through. There we go. It's a good spot right there. Now, take that, stick it back down through there. But you know, you're supposed to be greasing these things every year. And I don't know when the last time was this one was done. I haven't done it until now. I've been kind of remiss, but I'm checking it, making sure it's not running too hot. I've used this grease in other ones before, and there we go, get it turned around and down in there. And it lasted for years that I didn't have any heat issues. I used to have a smaller trailer that I used all the time. And it would just go and go and go and never get hot, which is what you want. Now, I'll get a new tire and stick it on there. Yeah. Okay. Move the label. Get this stuff out of the way. Slide this in there. Now then. Torque, 85 to 95 foot-pounds. In other words, tight. Okay, you gotta do your star pattern, putting it back on. You know, here, 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 here. That helps you get it on evenly, so you don't warp anything. My version of an impact wrench. Especially since I lubed the threads a little, you can do that now. This one of these holes is not like the others. One of these holes just doesn't belong. Alright, so I can set it down just a little ways so the tire contacts the ground. Not too tight. And then put the crank on it. So now I gotta remember in the next 6 to 10 years to replace the tires again, whether they wore out or not. So I don't have to buy new wheels. I mean, I can, I just don't want to. You can buy these like I did as a 2-pack. They're really cheap compared to what I put on my truck. Yeah, they're cheap. Alrighty. So there we go. It's greased. Got a new tire on it. Let's spin it and see how it goes. Not bad. Seems to be a little bit taller than the other tire was, though. It's supposed to be the same size, according to the conversion charts they use, but let's see. This one's about on the ground now. No. The bottoms are about even. Tops. It's about an inch taller. That's not a problem. Now my hands are greasy. I can't let the jack down. And there you have it. Done. Done and done. Still got to do the one on the other side, but I'll do that by myself. You guys can go. Thanks for watching. And click that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you like. And I hope it helps you.